Hey guys, it's Alan, the Fireman 1028, and today coming to you with another new bike ride. This one's a little special. This one is one we actually just purchased. So this is a 2022 KTM 390 Adventure. We just picked this bike up. This is going to be the second bike in our rental fleet, but it's also going to be a bike that we're going to make a ton of content on. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. We're going to do overnight trips. We're going to do moto camping. We're going to do off-road riding. We're going to do highway trips. We're even got an iron butt planned in the state of South Carolina. Iron butt planned. My son Sully's going to be riding this one as his first street bike. I'm going to ride it. I'm going to commute on it, and we're going to do all kinds of stuff. We're really excited about this bike. So we just picked this up actually last week, as a matter of fact, from a guy in Charlotte, and the bike only has 1,500 miles on it. The 2022 was the last year of the cast wheels, which some people don't want. I mean, I wanted the spoke wheels, but I did read in 2022 the cast wheels, they changed the design, and they're a lot more robust than the previous versions, so they're less likely to bend. And also, we are planning on adding a set of spoked wheels, either the KTM wheels or an aftermarket brand here in the near future. We'll put a more street tire on the cast wheels, and we'll put some nasty, gnarly knobbies, I'll say that 3 times fast, on the spoked wheels. So, like I said, I'll walk you around the bike. Pretty much stock. There's only a handful of modifications on the bike. Probably the first one you see here is the Akrapovic exhaust. It's the KTM slip-on. You see we still have the stock resonator, and we still have the stock kitty cat right down there. Might not be for long. We do have the bag carriers right there. We don't have the bags. We're going to solve that. We're actually going to set up 2 different luggage setups. We're going to have an on-road luggage setup, and then we're going to have an off-road luggage setup. So really excited to do that, and already got some stuff planned for that. And it's got the KTM skid plate. This KTM skid plate, I mean, it's nice and thick, and it has really good coverage. The only thing I don't like about it is how it attaches. And if you can see right down here, it actually attaches to the engine, which I do not like that. You take a good hard hit right there, you're going to put a hole in your case. So, like I said, we're really excited. I already got 15 things planned to do with the bike. It had a little down right here, and like I said, the guy, it was his first bike, and he had a little off, and he and his wife kind of mutually decided that maybe motorcycles was not for him. So we're going to take it for a quick first ride. Like I said, haven't done much of anything with it. This is really going to be our first real ride. Let's fire it up. KTM ready to race. So the service light is on, but that's mainly just due to the it needs an oil change, but it's not based off of miles, it's based off of time. The guy had the first break-in change done at the dealership, but then he did a second one, him and his buddy did, and but didn't reset the service minder. So I've already got an appointment set up. I mean, I do all my own services and everything, but I'm going to take it to Carolina KTM in Charlotte this time, because I've already got them planning on doing the flash to the ECU for the quick shifter. So let's take her on the road. Let's see how she does. Again, 1,500 miles. Now, I've got plenty of experience with singles. We have 2 TW200s right now. Previously had a CRF 300L Rally. That's actually the bike I broke my leg on. And I'm going to open my visor back up here. A little bit of traffic. It's getting near rush hour in Fort Mill, and boy, we got a ton of people here, so I hate traffic. Hello, student driver. I hate traffic. All right, guys, so we're going to take it on a first ride here. We're going to hop on 77 here, take it down the interstate, see how it does. And like I said, I mentioned that I previously had a Honda CRF 300L Rally. And like I said, I'll put the video up where I broke my leg on it. It's really hard to tell, but I sure did. Stock windscreen right here. Doesn't do much. It actually just feels like a naked bike. This guy's trying to run over me here. Going down the interstate, I mean, like I said, I'm already in 6th gear, 65 miles an hour, turning about 4,800 RPM, which is really not bad at all. make sure my phone doesn't go anywhere. The bike is very stable. I've got an 18-wheeler around me. Let me go ahead and move out of the way. So usually with the light bikes and that CRF, the 300L Rally, it was the wind. If I got on the interstate, I couldn't keep up. I'd have the throttle pinned at this point. This one here, I got a lot of throttle left. And, I got an 18-wheeler to the right of me, and I got an 18-wheeler in front of me. And it's not really, I'm moving around a little bit, but you're going to on any motorcycle. It's actually very stable. I'm very surprised how stable it is at 70 miles an hour. And again, I got an 18-wheeler in front of me, and it's not really affecting me at all. I can feel that it's right there, but it's not doing much of anything. So the bike feels very stable, feels very planted. So we're doing, right now at 70, we're just barely turning 5,000 RPM. Stock gearing, stock chain, stock everything. So I've read that you could go down a tooth in the front sprocket and gain a lot more responsiveness, and not really increase the RPMs, the highway RPMs much. 70 is kind of the biggest thing. You can run 70, you can stay up with traffic. So that might be something we look at in the near future. Like I said, stock windscreen really doesn't do much, but the air's clean. It's not affecting me too awfully bad. So this feels pretty good. And like I said, my son Sully, he's 15 years old. He's actually, I'm taking him Friday to go get his learner's permit, which is exciting. And try to fall in one of those big holes there. And this is going to be his first street bike. He's been riding off-road for 2 or 3 years, and he's done a fair amount of road riding up in West Virginia on the Hatfield McCoy trails. Not by choice, but because we had to. So that's a story for another day. The bike feels very composed. I'm very pleased with this. The 300L Rally, like I said, at this point at 70 miles an hour, it was pinned out. There was absolutely nothing left. And the weight of the two bikes are roughly the same. The 300L Rally might be a couple pounds less, but it's producing probably 50% less horsepower than this bike is here. And the suspension on this bike is far superior to what you get from a Honda stock. Now I can feel going down the highway like this at turning 4,500 RPMs. I do feel some vibration in my foot pegs, and we already have some parts on order for that to take care of that. When I pull over, I'll show you a couple things on the bike that I've noticed already that we'll definitely have to address. 70 miles an hour, 5,000 RPM. Excuse me, 6,000 RPM. I was looking at that wrong. Still, red line is 10, so this bike should be able to do 90, 95 before we hit red line, which is for a bike this size, that's more than plenty. I am thrilled with that. So, but the handling, this thing just handles so great. It's so lightweight. Again, with the cast wheels, they're real lightweight, really responsive. Now, I had read from a lot of folks that the finding neutral was difficult on these bikes, and honestly, it's kind of a mixed bag there. Sometimes it's been hard to, other times it's clicked right into neutral. So I'm going to say that's a non-issue right now. Probably once we get the oil changed and just get some fresh oil in there, it might smooth out. Maybe some Motul 7100. Which is my favorite, which is my oil of choice. So we're sitting here on the Gold Hill Road exit ramp, the new Transvergent Diamond back over there, which my wife absolutely hates. So like I said, we've already got a ton of stuff planned for this bike. I've got a list of about 15 things already that we plan on doing. I was very surprised as to how tall the seat was. It's close to 33 inches tall, which for a little bike like this is pretty tall. The 300 Rally was pretty close to that, but the compression that you would get just sitting down, you would probably lose a third of your suspension travel just sitting down on the bike. This one, I don't think there's much sag at all. Being a small bike and being not a big guy, but not a tiny guy either. I'm 225 naked, 240 with all my gear on, and I fully expected to sit on this bike and the suspension would sag down and I would lose a good bit of ground clearance, but I was very surprised that did not happen. The suspension is very tight, very snug. It's far superior to what you would get on the Honda, at least stock. I know there's, I had already had a deal with Rally Raid, to buy suspension components from them, and then I broke my leg and said screw it. Didn't ride for a while and sold the bike. So coming up to a red light here, let's see, go back into first gear or go back into neutral. Oh, let's see, it went back into neutral that time too. So we're going to do a red light drag race here. Coming off this red light, we got a Jeep Gladiator beside us. He's giving me the stink eye. Wow. Just like that. That was a very above legal speed. And I just noticed I have a low fuel light. That was very quick to the speed limit. Very impressive for such a small bike, and that really wasn't even full throttle. So I am so impressed with this. When I was looking for a bike for my son, I wanted something that was inexpensive, number one. We had a lot of criteria when we were looking for a bike. I wanted something that was inexpensive, but I also wanted something that was still new enough that people would actually want to ride. And like I said, we're renting them out. I got a Honda Transalp that we rent out as well, and that's actually been very popular. So I wanted something that he could ride that was small enough for him to ride, something lightweight, but something with enough power that he could kind of grow into it with. But something that had the safety aids, traction control, ABS, these different safety nannies, if you will. And that list is very, very short of bikes that will accomplish all those things. And I've had two KTMs prior to this. I had a 890 Duke R that left me stranded in the mountains, and I had an 890 Adventure R, which did not leave me stranded. I just never felt comfortable on the bike. I've got a buddy, a neighbor of mine who races enduro. He's got one, and he can do things on that thing that I would, I could never dream of. Keith, shout out to you. But it's not stuff that I could do, and I just really never felt comfortable on the bike. And after I broke my leg, we sold it. We basically sold everything and went down to. We just had the two T-dubs, and didn't ride for a while. And then still the T-dub 200 is still my absolute favorite bike. There's no more fun that you can have with your clothes on and on two wheels. They are so much fun, and I can't wait to do a good full in-depth review of those bikes. Whew. Either a skunk just died or somebody's smoking weed, because that stinks. But like I said, this is a lot of fun. I can't wait for my son to be able to ride it. I can't wait to actually get some good rides on it myself. I've already been looking at some windscreens to put more of a touring windscreen on this bike. I know Madstad makes an adjustable windscreen, which I've had some of their products in the past. I assume it would take the mounting brackets here and then put a slider on it or something. So Madstad makes one that we might even give that a try. I've already looked into Viridian that makes an electronic cruise control that we have on our Transalp. They make a system that fits this bike, which is really cool. It'll either use their standard 3-button setup that would mount somewhere over here, or it would be they actually have an option for, it's like $600 to replace this control right here with the factory KTM part that actually has the cruise control switch mounted to it, which is the absolute coolest thing in the world. Fully electronic cruise control, no servos, none of that stuff. Everything just ties right into the ride-by-wire system, which is a really cool setup. So let's ride down over here and let's take a look at the bike. Little curvy section here, so let's see. I mean, like I said, so lightweight, so responsive in how it handles. And again, stock suspension, stock WP Apex suspension. It feels great. I keep saying fantastic. It feels great, but if the bike is so light and flickable, it feels like a Supermoto, but with a 19-inch wheel. So that was another thing I was thinking about. Is, you know, put a set of get the spoke wheels, put a set of knobbies on this thing, and just go to town. Just absolutely go to town on it. Coming up to the headquarters of Sunbelt Rentals here. These two buildings used to be the Lash Group, which is a insurance servicing company. Pike Engineering just moved into this building, moved out of a building in downtown Fort Mill. Sunbelt Rentals has their headquarters here in this building. Shoe Carnival has their East Coast headquarters in that other building. I've done work in both of these buildings and this parking deck, so we're just going to ride. We're going to ride to the top of the parking deck real quick, just to be able to take a look. This is a beautiful afternoon. We're just going to ride to the top, hop off the bike, take a quick look. I'm about to go get some fuel. All right, so here we go. KTM 390 Adventure 2022 model, the last year of the cast aluminum wheels. Here's what I was talking about with the pegs. If you notice these pegs, so the 390 Adventure is based off the 390 Duke, which is a very street-oriented bike, and the pegs are canted slightly forward. Well, we've got a solution coming up for that very soon to fix that right there, to give us a flatter, wider, maybe a peg that pivots a little bit. Hint, hint. Like I said, stock tires that are on it, they're fine for what we're doing with it now. Honestly, usually the first thing I look at doing is the suspension on a bike. I don't think I'm going to touch this. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to touch that suspension at all. It's that good. I usually hate stock suspension, but I'm really impressed with this bike. Like I said, this is just my first ride. I cannot wait to get out and really give it a good ride, do some interstate riding. That little short stint we did just now, it was very stable. It was very composed. Not the best thing I've ever ridden on the interstate, but it did pretty daggone good. So, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll have a very long, in-depth, full review with specs and all that stuff coming up very soon. This was just a quick first ride. Just want to introduce the bike. If you like the content that we're making, please comment, like it, subscribe, share it to somebody else. If you think it sucks, let me know. But thank you, God bless, and roll tide.